Hello everybody, welcome to the CEO Talk. Today, welcome Mr. David from Unilever. Second is Mrs. Selena from Wingdrop, and finally Mr. Dominic from APT Group. Okay, today we talk about the importance of organizational behavior. First, we talk about the culture in a company. So, what is culture?
The culture in the company play an important role to the organization behaviors of the employee, and as it affect also to the performance of the company.
Okay. Yeah. Nowadays there's some model of culture. So can you tell me something about this model?
I know the same model. Shem believe that the organization that tend to develop a culture and the employee get through the value chain and adapt to the external environment and solve the organization problem. They learn from their past experience and start to implement practice and collective the employee attitude from the culture within the organization. In the chain model, we have the three levels. The first is the active phase. This level is the characteristic of the organization which can be easily viewed, heard and felt by the individual collective known as the active phase. The rest code of the employees, office furniture, the behavior of the employees, the mission or the vision of the organization. All come under active phase and go a long way in the designing the culture of the workplace. For example, in the organization we have no one in the organization in this allow the rest of casually, but in the organization B, the employee can wear the whatever they like, they feel like. So in the both case, employee in the organization I wear the rest. That equal the professionalism and strictly follow the policy of the organization. On the other hand, the employee in the organization B have a laid-back attitude and do not take their work seriously. The second is the value. That is a deeper level to the sub-official activity that contribute to the organization culture are the value of the company and the individual that work there. The coherent element of those values, how employees react to the situation and the problem will shape the culture. So what people actually think are the matter a lot for the organization, the mindset of the individual or associated with any particular organization influence the culture of the workplace. So do you know the third level was it?
Oh, it's assumptions.
Yeah, assumption.
You know, assumption. It's very hard to understand, but I think I can define. Okay. The first type of assumption is about what is the truth and invisible and the social matters, how reality and truth are determined, and whether truth is to be revealed or discovered. And the second type of assumption is about the importance of time in a group, how time is to be defined and measured. And the third assumption is about how space to be owned and allocated, the symbolic meaning of space around persons, the role that space plays in shaping relationships between individuals and boundaries between intimacy, and privacy. Okay, I can see. I don't know this word.
No problem.
Okay, from Thai basic assumptions about the intrinsic or ultimate aspects of human nature, whether the human nature is fundamentally good or bad, and whether it can be perfected. The fifth is how the organizational relationship within environment, about the understanding of work in play and how much of activity and passivity should be appropriate. And finally, about the right way for people relate with each other in appropriate ways through digital power and responsibilities and relative merits or cooperation and competition, individualism or group collaboration. The basic of leadership, whether it should be traditional authority, law, traditional, appropriate ways of resolving conflicts and making decisions. This is six types of assumption. I want is another model of culture.
So another cultures which is very important in economy, I think that is the handy model. So the first one is the power culture. In an organization, the power cultures, power is held by just a few individuals who influence strict controls the organization. There are a few rules and regulation in the power culture. What flow with the power decide is what happens. Employees are generally chosen by what they achieve rather than how they do things and how they act. A consequence of this can be quick decision making, even if those decisions aren't in the best long-term interest of the organization. A power culture is usually a strong culture, though it can be swiftly turned toxic. The local caps of the enrolled Lehman Brothers and RBS is often attributed to a strong power culture.
Beside the power cultures is role culture. Organizations with role culture are made on roles. They are highly controlled with everybody in the organization. They are now in with their roles and their responsibilities. Power in the role culture is determined by personal positions in the organization structure. This structure culture is highly job-oriented and can be often found in bureaucratic. In the role culture, employees want to most securely as possible. This part of role culture is not always flexible. Management of staff take place by means of producers and leadership descriptions. This applies to both individual job as well as communication between departments. Key words within a role culture are safety, stability, conservatism, and predictability.
So moreover, in the handy model, we also have the top culture. It always takes the high cooperation level and a high power distribution. Many rotate, or we can call it the matrix organizations, will have the top cultures, which is mainly result the overnighted. Top cultures also refer to as how can I call it, Athena culture, who like to Apollo. In addition, when we deal this culture is also the goodness and the martial art in peace. The employees are experienced, professional, and have the skill to solving the problem. And they want to complete their tasks or their project correctly. The employee rely on both their own expertise and that on their knowledge. So top culture organizations often deploy the temperatures terms and in quick cooperation in the power mode. The powers is not necessarily connected to a specific person, but is over the entire organization. Result and more important than the rules, the balance of the power on video person is expertise also flexible, and this is the central, and the coordination depend on tasks on the project requirement. For example, that is the deadline on the high quality of the KPI, which we give for our employees.
The final culture in the handy culture models is the personal culture. In organizations with person cultures, individuals very much see themselves as unique and superior to the organization. The organization simply exists in order for people to work. An organization with person culture is really just a collection of individuals who happen to working for the same organization. a personal culture can be open in professional organizations where employees who have complete independence, are highly educated, and can work with their expertise. Think of law firms, health companies, or academic research teams, for example. Because it's often a leader who has final responsibility. There may cause occasionally be coordination problems within these kinds of organizations. In general, a poor person culture is very rare. In most cases, person culture will only be short-lived, and the organization will gradually shift towards one of the other cultural typologies.
It can be seen that I see that two types of cultural model. First is shame and secondly handy. So I think two types very useful nowadays. It's depends on the company, depend the goal, depend the situation. Yeah, opportunities we can use appropriate. Yeah.
So do you know that not only cultures, power, and politics nowadays play a important role in the company. So what's the power in each community mean? So in every company, there is always the concept called power, depending on different purposes. Individuals or organizations may use the power to help or even harm other members. So in addition, we can understand that power is like a tool to be able to serve individual or organization that perform action or thing that they cannot do by directing and controlling. Control the organization objectives and activities. We can divide the power of individual in the organization into two main sorts, which is the formal power and informal power. So informal concept, individual can use the power through the legitimate power, reward power, or conceit power, or power of information. So another one that is the informal form. We have the expert power, or the powers of the employees who have the satisfaction of joining a group they like. There is even the concept of the charismatic power, a form of instant reference power that comes from a big person, unit personality, physical trait, or other ability to make others trust and follow them. Therefore, the certain code that is two times the power that they always have in each company. Next is the holistic. Holistic and power always go together. The concept of the holistic in the companies and the businesses today, there's not still to train to everyone. We can understand that the holistic in that company is about the individual and the organizations in different ways to grant the power, to create the power to adjust all the members of the company. Company always fulfills their goals and desires. The scale of the political activity takes place when the political motivation starts from the individual players and the political skill they can develop into the group level arcs is direction now toward to border contest where the politic operate, and that's the national level. In addition, we also have the soft, informal, and the hard formal power level. Soft power is the latent, using the influence from relationship and the personal value. Political activity is based on the hard powers, based on the position, expertise, directive, and the reward control mechanism. However, we also need to understand that in order to increase the efficiencies and effectiveness, managers have used and exploit politically and in each organization. The more legal power to control other managers. At the same time, we also make them to have a talent, strong, smart, and sensitive managers who can balance the structures of the power or the issue when the company has a conflict between the members of the organization that will avoid the training to help the organization operate effectively in the future.
In my opinion, the work place politics is a process and behavior in the human interaction involving power and authority. It's also a tool to assess the operational capacity and balance diverse the view of the interested parties. It is also known as the office politics or the organization the politics. It is the use of the power in the social networking within an organization to achieve the change that benefits the organization and individual within it. The influence by the individual may serve the personal interest without the regard to their effect on the organization. Some of the personal offenses may include the access to the tangible assets or the intangible benefits, such as the status or the personal authority that influence the behavior of others. On the other hand, the organization politics can increase the efficiencies from the interpersonal relationship or the profit the organizations and its members simultaneously, but both the individual and the group may embrace it. In the office politics, we can be the highly destructive as the people focus on the personal gains at the expense of the organizations. The self-service political action can negatively influence our social grouping, the cooperation, information sharing, and many other organization functions. Thus, it is vital to pay attention to the organization political and create the right political landscape.
In the power in politics, this aspect that is about the leaderships. So, can you tell me something about this aspect?
In my opinion, a leadership style leads the method of writing direction, implementing plans, and motivating people, whereas others have proposed identify many different leadership styles as habits by leaders in political, business, or other fields. Study on leadership style are conducted in military field, especially an approach that stresses a holistic way of leadership, including how leadership physical determines how others perceive that leader. Thus, factor of the physical presence in this content include military bearing, physical fitness, confidence, and resilience. The leadership intellectual capacity helps to conceptualize solutions and acquire knowledge to do the job in an organization.
So, in my opinion, I know a type of the leadership. This is the democratic leadership. So, the definition of democratic leadership is exactly what it sounds like. The leader makes decision based on the input of each team member. Although he or she makes the final call, each employee has an equal say on the project's direction. Democratic leadership is one of the most effective leadership styles because it allows lower level employees to exercise authority. They need to use fully in future positions. They might hold. It also resembles how decisions can be made in the company board meetings. So, what is the advantages of democratic leadership? Okay, Mrs. Serena, the democratic leadership is very famous and very common in the world now. So, can you tell me some countries that have democratic leadership?
The US,
Yeah,
UK, and some of the country in the European.
yeah, okay. Yeah, so why is very famous and why is very common? Because there are some advantages of democratic leadership. Firstly, the employees work more effectively because employees are priority in designing the tasks. They are in charge of work. The work is handled more quickly, more accurately, and efficiently. Secondly, the atmosphere is friendly, team-oriented, task-oriented. People focus on adding work, coordinating to perform work instead of just jealousy and envy. The third thing, work efficiency has been continuously improved because the democratic leader has made the right decision, keeping up with the reality. Okay. And next to the working environment be comfortable, friendly, and promising. So the employees stick to work for a long time, wholeheartedly taking care of the company work. And the final is the company has many competitive advantage compared to its competitors by the multi-collective chain. Yeah, you can see very many advantages from democratic leadership.
Before the democratic leadership style, transactional leaders use rewards and punishment to gain calmness from their followers. In any case, transactional leaders are not connected and concerned with the well-being of workers in an organization. As compared with the transformational leadership, according to you, there are intrinsic motivations that bring minimum calmness for followers. They shape goals, structures, and culture of the existing organization. Transactional leaders tend to be directive and action-oriented from the organization. Transformational leaders want followers to achieve intrinsic motivation and job fulfillment. Another opinion, transactional leadership is primarily passive. On the other hand, transformational leadership is interactive and inspiring the employees in the organization. The behavior most associated with this type of leadership are establishing the criteria for rewarding followers and maintain the status quo. This overall effectiveness of transactional management can be very practical and directive. Through transactional management, a realistic measure of successful company is covered through the consistent monitoring on the organization.
It can be seen that the power and politics are very important in the organizational behavior. So every situation, every company, every mission that you use every model, different model is applied in this mission integral of the company. Beside the cultural power in politics, there's one, this is the motivation. Motivation plays a very important role in the company. So, I know a model of motivation. This is muscle theory.
Maslow.
Yeah, you know muscle theory?
Yes, absolutely.
Muscle is divided from two to five levels.
Okay.
Yeah, but firstly is pacing this. Pacing this their biological requirement for human survival, such as is air, atmosphere, food, drink, shelter, clothing, ground, even sex and sleep. Yeah. If the needs are not satisfied, the human body cannot function optimally. Maslow considers the basic needs is the most important. Add on the other needs become secondary until these needs are met. And the next is the safety needs. The safety needs is about the protection from elements, security, order law, stability, freedom from fear. It means that when you work in bus, you always prefer, you cannot are not inspired and you can work very comfortably. Yes, that is two levels in the muscle theory.
Besides the two basically this level of the Maslow models, there's three higher levels of the Maslow models. The first level is the social needs. Human is the social animals, and accordingly seek self companionship, acceptance, and inclusion. Maslow identifies social needs as friendship, peer support, and the ability to give, receive love. According to the Anna model, or the 365 12 motivate and reward your employees every day with little or no money. The workplace offers the opportunity to be part of learn in which members share their basic knowledge, skill and techniques experience to solve problems in which they have vested interest, competitions, working groups, mentoring, brainstorming, sessions, how to work together, and even office could make employees feel as if they are family.
I remember the floor is the self-esteem need, right?
Yeah, the next level of the Maslow model is self-esteem needs. Esteem needs.
Yeah, esteem. I know.
In contrast with social needs, is the desire to be recognized for personal accomplishment. Maslow divides this position of his theory into external and internal motivators. External motivators are the prizes and awards based for the outstanding performance, elevations in status such as converted, promotion, and newfound attention and admiration from others. Internal motivators are the private goals that workers set for themselves, such as beating the prior month's sales figures and the satisfaction and experiencing self-respect for having done the right thing. When employees know their efforts are not going unnoticed by management, they take more pride in their work production. In addition, their co-workers see the correlation between responsibility and rewards and made endeavor to set the performance bar for themselves. And the final level of the Maslow model culture is the self-actualization. Once quarters of physiological, safety, social, and self-esteem needs are met, Maslow believes that individuals are capable of achievement their true potential and embody truth, meaning, wisdom, and justice in their words and action. Self-actualization moves them to higher level of understanding as well as way to impart empathy for the needs of others. Those who achieve this state, as Maslow himself speculated, that was only 2% of the population in the organization. Maslow also tied this belief that the journey in whatsoever it takes could be more rewarding than actual destination. Punishments can be applied this to a practice of appreciation in the woods of each individual struggling wisdom rather than focusing performance of the organization or the game, that they lose sight of the human emotions.
But you know, today the Maslow theory is heavily critical by the scientists. They are the situation is not possible to substantiate the idea, but they need to take the place in the hierarchical order. There are people who, despite the different circumstances, are perfectly capable of the satisfy their social needs and who are capable of the striving for reunification.
So I agree with you. I have the same idea that furthermore the Maslow hierarchies have the various needs can combine with one another, and that they can vary from situation to situation. In the workplace, is basically the younger employees who have a need for the social contact, whereas they are older, the college want to be recognized for their treatment. As the first critical comment is would be said that the Maslow hierarchies of needs is rather static. The needs of employee change and depends on the situation, experience, and by the comparing themselves with others. So I think that's the Maslow hierarchies as they have lots of respect. But I think other theories which is progress from the markets now. That is
equity. I know this theory. I don't know equity theory who says that the people maintain a fair relationship between the performance and reward in the comparison to other. In other words, an employee gets motivated by the job and his employer indicates his input are more than the output. The adaptability theory was proposed by John Stacy Adams and is based on the following assumption. The individual makes the contributions with the inputs for which they expect certain reward based on the outcomes. The validate the exchange an individual compare with his input and outcomes with those of the other and try to make it correct the inequality. Following the Adams theory, now we have the three types of exchange relationship that arise when an individual input or outcome are compared with that of the other persons. Right?
So I know that the first one is the overpair inequity. When individual perceive that the outcomes are more as compared with their inputs in the relation to others. The overpair inequity can be expressed as the person outcome division to the person input is bigger to other out the division to the other inputs. The second that is in impaired equity is when individuals perceive that their outcome are less as compared to their inputs in the relation to others. The pair equity can be expressed as the person outcome division to the person inputs smaller to the other outcomes division to other inputs.
Yeah, and the first is the equity. An individual perceives that his outcome in relation to his input and applied to those of others. The equity can be expressed as the person outcome in divisions, person input is equal or the outcome and divisions or the input.
Therefore, equity theory show the level of motivation among the individual in the working environment. So an individual said that the higher motivation is they receive to be treated fairly. So obviously that's why the feeling of the demotivation arises if an individual perceived to be treated unfairly in organization. So all in all, we can see that in individual levels of the motivation depend on the intent they feel being treated fairly or not. In terms of the reward in the comparison to the order of the company.
Understanding equity theory and especially its their motivation models help managers and policy makers to reshape that where improving one's person terms and conditions will show the individual's demands. If the change is perceived by other people to upset the equity of their own situations, then the solution can easily generate far more problems than attempted to fix. Equity theories, as well as the Adam motivation model, reminds us people see themselves and the way they are treated in terms of their surrounding environment, teams, and system, not in isolation, and so they must be managed and treated accordingly.
Nowadays, the motivation of the company, motivation method is very, very important. It's linked with the culture in the power of this very, very strong, very, very clear. Yeah.
So I think that is not right or wrong, just you put it in right environment that they can live together and work well.
Yeah. It's based on the capability of the leader and the company, the situation, the environment, the area, the market share. Yeah, very, very aspect. So, this is about the theory.
Yeah.
But now we have to talk about the defined area, defined market. It's in Vietnam.
This means we will talk about the culture, the political power and motivation in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it run, how.
Influence.
Yes.
In Vietnam behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, now we start.
So I think that in Vietnam, so that is the very active market. The culture, the power, holistic, and motivation in Vietnam is very important. And when we want to enter the Vietnam market, we need to change further the culture.
Yeah.
So the reason why today I want to share with you something about the husband model. You know about it?
Yes, I know the husband model applied in the Vietnam is very clear. For example, the power distance. Vietnam has the score is very high in this dimension is 70, which means that the people accept a hierarchical order in which everybody has a place and which need no future justification. Hierarchy in our organization is seen as a reflecting inherent in our equality. Centralization in the popular or the subordinate expect to the tone what to do and the idea post in benevolence autocrats challenge to the leadership are not well received. The next individualism of Vietnam with a core is strength in a collectivistic society. This is a manifest in a close long-term commitment to the member group. Because families, extended family or extended relationship, loyalty in the collectivist culture is a paramount and overrides most other societal rules and regulation, such as the society of foster strong relationship where everyone takes responsibility for follow the member of their group. In collectivistic society, offers lead to the shame and loss of the love face. Employer or employee relationship are perceived in a moral term like family link, hiring and promotions take account of the employees in a group.
So in addition, we also have the masculinity. If we have the boy letter in here, Vietnam will stay in 40 sport in on this dimension. And it first considers feminist society. In the feminist countries, the focus is on working in order to live, and the managers for the consensus people value equality, solidarity, and equality in their working life. Conflict are resolved by the compromise and negotiation. Incentives such as in the free time and flexible are valued. Focus is on the well-being, statistics is not shown, and an effective managers is a supportive one, and decision making in achieve food involved food. So another one is uncertainty avoidance. Vietnam's sport is thirsty based on the dimension in terms of low reference for avoiding uncertainties. Low yield AI societies maintain a more relaxed attitude. Practice have more than principle and deviation from norm is more easily to tolerate. In society is very slow about the UAI. People want to believe there should be no more rule than necessary. And if they are ambiguous or do not work, there should be a better chance. The schedule are very flexible. It's very hard to work and undertaken when it's necessary, but not for its own sake. Moreover, this is persistence and punctuality do not come naturally. Innovation is not seen at the true.
Another is a long-term orientation. Vietnam has a score is 57. It's a pragmatic culture. In a society with a pragmatic orientation, people believe that the truth depends very much on the situation, context, and the time. They show the ability to adapt the traditional easily to change the condition, a strong propensity to sell and invest, the fitness and perseverance in the achievement results.
Oh, I remember that the last one is endurance. In Vietnam, not just a low score, just about the 35 on this dimension. In the case, because the culture of Vietnam is the characteristic as the returns. Societies with a low score in this dimension have the tendency to the pessimism. Also, it contract to the indulgent society, and the society do not put much emphasis on the leisure time and the control their design people with the organizations have to perception that their action are retrained by the social norm and feel that enduring themselves is something so much they want.
Okay.
Finally, I will tell something about the power and realistic in organization in Vietnam. The first, I will tell you about the power system in Vietnam. According to the Hofstede Center, this dimension refers to the part that is individual in society not equal. In other words, power system is defined as the acceptance of people about their position in business environment. People living in a country with higher power system have a tendency of accepting unique co-distribution. On the other hand, living in less power system country, everyone is equal, and it is mutual purpose of society. People have freedom to talk with those in higher levels without hesitations. In Vietnam, the score is the 1970, which is considered as high. Thus means Vietnamese people accept other communicators that in business organization, decisions and ideas are made by the top positions. The eldest person has the most influence. In addition to age, hierarchy, compete in terms of education level, job positions, power, distance is not only in workplace but also in the daily day. Children have to obey their parents. Also, it's happened the same way in relationship of teacher-student, employees and process. member leaders. In short, they take for granted that this decision power is obvious. Finally, power distance depends a lot on the cultures, whereas the management style, less efficient, are rarely Vietnamese enterprises. Employees follow the instructions of their superiors because they consider it their duty. It can be concluded that the leader must be flexible and adapt to its development stage in the life cycle of the organization. It relies on a leadership style that is suitable for the newborn period of the organization. The result will culture productive, even contribute to the accelerating the complete of the organization.
So okay, last but not least, I think that the motivation in this time is very significant because also the employees and also the workers, when they work, they just want to get the reward.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I want to say today. So I think that in Vietnam we should to design a program which fits for the structures of each company. The first one I want to say is design. You know that in a company. So we take the double salary for the worker compared to the market now and triple time for the skilled worker.
Yeah.
It's very high to make them satisfied. Another one that's in the holiday or in the end of the month, the end of the year, we only give them the vouchers or the gift, or we take them to travel, to go to another country to have them relax, to recharge the power, to work better. So in Vietnam, you know that the culture in Vietnam very funny. And the
Yeah,
people in Vietnam very
flexible.
yeah, so the reason why we should to give them the days off in Vietnam
Yeah.
as well as the time rate.
Yeah.
In Europe or in Japan, the people work all the day, but in Vietnam we should to give them at least I think that 1 hour.
Perfect, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the moon.
And,
So another one that is we should to promotion them to the level what they want if they have the ability to control it. And I always compliment and acknowledge the contributions of our employees. So moreover, I think that we should training their employees in different nations to have them have the overviews of not only in this market but also in another market to have them have the clear view and work back.
but you know, besides acquiring employee by a reward, some companies also use the penalties and half that employee can improve their professional responsibility and work more effectively. In addition, most of employees only work when they have the result about the punishment. Because most people in Vietnam are usually late, lazy, or they just need a result from the outside to work. So in some of the business in Vietnam, they use the business and deterrent theory play a vital role in the shaping the culture to be in the line with the operational expectation and in the avoid conflict and other negative outcome both internal or external. If the employee clearly know what they are supposed to do, they generally try to avoid it.
So after the meeting, we have a note about theories and content about organizational behavior, including culture, power, and politics, and motivation. So we have different perspectives about these aspects. To understand better about how the companies apply them or operate them, we go to the personal talk of these guests here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CEO Talks again, the show for listeners and CEOs around the world share their experience. Last week, we had an exchange talk with the CEOs from different companies to discuss the theories of how to manage the organization behavior. This week, let's listen to the stories of the CEOs from Unilever. He's sharing to have a more detailed and specific views of the theories which he presented and the theories he had applied to his organization to have it work best. Now, let's meet him.
Hi, can you introduce a little bit about yourself and your company?
Okay, I'm a CEO of Unilever. So as you know that Unilever is one of the world's leading multinational corporation, providing consumer goods and food and personal products. In 1995, Unilever was established in Vietnam and it created a new way of Vietnamese market. Unilever had changed the traditional habit of Vietnamese people and it's created a famous brand, a higher quality and a greatly improvement to make the leaders of White House become similar and more modern, which mission that's becoming the most smart company in Vietnam, committed and improve the lives of the people in Vietnam. So all of them is based on a lot of about the organization behaviors. So now I want to share with you some tips which my company used to make a success in the modern one.
So I know your company is one of the biggest company in the world. So could you tell me something about the company culture?
Of course, yes. Unilever organization culture is brought a lot through the leadership and human resource activity to ensure the optimal interactions of the customer goods business. In this way, Unilever has improved and developed a lot. It was so started with the organizational cultures as well as the types of activity and policies that the leader have to take over time, and the organizational cultures, leadership and human resources of the company are all related to each other. Moreover, my company Unilever is an integrated global company. Any change in an area leads to change of the development of the other areas. The properties of the factors also affect each other and express of Unilever. The company's success because of the all-over effectiveness of the leader to help me to improve the organizational cultures. Unilever corporate culture contribute greatly to order to improvement of all the fields such as production and human resource. Unilever has an extremely great but practical organizational culture, and we emphasize that the importance of the solution due to determine require the output. Unilever organizational cultures have the following characteristics. Unilever good, focus on the performance, personal performance, and also focus on the organizational performance. In addition, it's focused on the quality because the quality of the output in on area is extremely important. So moreover, it's effective when the company develops an effective job through the technologies and all the tools that will have the great seamless and employee operation in the best way.
So your company has applied any the model which related to the culture?
In my company, we use a lot of model, but I think that two model which display an important role in my company, that's the handy model, specifically the task cultures. We can understand this is the matrix organization. Unilever structure adapt to change and in the consumer goods and the global market. Currently, the company maintains a structure that addresses the needs of the company and the time of the managing product types worldwide as the leading consumer goods of my company. So moreover, we also use the models of the models of the change model. So we can application of the above methods clearly to have Unilever get a direction and bring the brand with good productivity, because Unilever values it determine how we do the business good and how we inspire our employees. Because we have a large numbers of company about the employee. So moreover, as Unilever, my logos is one of the important role which affect not only the customer but also creating the possible for employees of business. So each image in our logo have the different meaning. It can inspire a lot for my employees, which can have them feel confident, feel work effectively to get the highest performance for our company.
How about the power and the policy in the company?
Oh, that's also the interesting questions. So in my company, the power and the policy, so it make an important position because it allows it and deliver to the individuals with outstanding achievement and bring certain benefit to our company. Thereby, our employees must also show their capacity and the powers as well as have the policies and the guidelines to have the company deliver well, commit well, and successful. Is it in the market? Where is always the modern and developed like the Vietnam market? Therefore, Unilever always require the individuals and groups to have a good ability to control the uncertain and implant situation. Contingency is an event or the problem that they can current at any time. Moreover, operating in the highly competitive environment and always impulsing continual trends, therefore, our managers and individuals must always be planned to have people to resort and in place to deal with if the event arises. Moreover, our company also promote the ability to control and create the results. Unilever always have many social events to make the society better in the future. Many events we did, that is the rotate about the BS in Vietnam, Vim rotate clear toilet and microeconomy for the poor woman, and so on. Also, the program will have had a great impact on the lives of the Vietnamese people. So specifically in 2010, Unilever aimed to the growth target, have the environmental impact and increase the positive impact to the society. So far, Unilever managers have the excellent and overcoming pressure from the stakeholder. More than 20.5 million people have the benefits from my company, and our company will have a lot of women around the world to have them have a good job and to have them have the higher salary, and as well as we give a lot of benefits, allowance for our employees to have them have the confidence and have the strong soul to our company. That's the reason why our employees always stay in this company and they never want to leave our company. That is a good thing I confident that my company can do.
So how your company motivates them and make them work effectively?
Oh, in my company, we use a lot of program to have the employee work well, as well as we use the smart flow theories and the ADAM LT theories to help our employee work well and effectively. So the success of my company contribute about the management department. It play a big important in my company. So my company only focuses heavily on the human needs and the rights and ensure that human rights can listen in a truth and positive insurance process. In addition, we always know that the employee always needs many benefits and as well as salaries, and Unilever realized that employee happiness directly affects the success of the development of this business. Today, when our business so you know that the business environment where the competitive is very high and the workplace become increasingly loose and it's become a challenge for all of the organization. But in Unilever, we always lead them to the high satisfaction and work and high commitment of the organization to have the employees not transfer to other organizations. So we also commit to addressing the health and the well-being as well as important business motivation on the sustainable basis on our health wellness program and linked to the Unilever Sustainable Life Plan. Therefore, Unilever always adapt and have them. We try on my best to have them, give them which many years ago and until now, Unilever always have many reward for employees, and our company have lost the champion. So the Unilever employees increase success, the worst performance. So for many years, Unilever has always been at the top of the table as the workplace, voted by many as the best job. Moreover, in the ranking ranks, Unilever has always ranked among the top 10, the inclusional and the inspiring employees for many years. And moreover, Unilever also have the motivation people effectively to ensure the fairness between the input and the output of the employees, which they only aim at.
Company is a foreign company. So do you think the culture, the power, the realistic, or the motivation in the company is suitable in the Vietnam?
So of course, when we into the Vietnam market, we have some changes because to fit with the people, the characteristic, and as well as the very active market in Vietnam. In 1995, Unilever set up a modern factory in Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City and Bắc Ninh. So we have more than 200,000 Vietnamese workers, and the best thing that in 2017, Unilever Vietnam were excellent top one, that Vietnam 100 best way to work list. So that is amazing, and I'm very proud of this. So when entering to Vietnam markets, Unilever has also certainly changed the culture, the custom, as well as the diversity and the richness of the personnel of Vietnam. However, it's always based on the goal and the long-term vision of Unilever that lead the always create a friendly, open, and simple finance. So we always we make the environment where the employees feel trust and say anything they want to talk with the managers. And instead of giving employees short-term goals like traditional companies, it's completely different in Unilever. So Unilever also raised the realistic stage to have the employee do not feel strict or feel stressed by dream on the beauty system in our company. So you know that one of the best thing in Unilever that is the salary, which pays for the employees the good salary, double two times higher than the minimum wage of the symbol and triple times higher labor for the skilled worker. It is thanks to the extremely tight combination and between the elements and the cultures, powers, and policies. It has helped the Unilever in Vietnam achieve extremely great and important achievement. 2 years, we around the excellent enterprise mode and in Vietnam HR award. The award is in the recognition of the treatment of Unilever Vietnam who have the good about the human resource management policy in place, whereas the position contribute the business resource of the companies and have the improved quality the lives of the employees. So Unilever Vietnam were also 4 years in a row that the excellent received the title of the best workplace in Vietnam. This success thanks to the Unilever approach of the focus on the building a staff of the people with this knowledge of the personal and the market perspective, plus the sensitive knowledge in business and economy society in organization, and HR development according to the HRDP model. The strategic partner for each department is also an effective way to the personnel to understand the work, the cultures, and each person can department past. The awards of outstanding achievement are clear proof and success in Unilever Vietnam, where the value of the people organizational behavior are always highly appropriate.
Now I can say the culture, policy and the power is affect a lot of not only in your employee but also in your behavior. I can see you very proud about your company. So I hope you and your company are more and more successful in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. But I want to say one thing to not just for you, but for also the CEO around the world. That's not only about the way you arrive to the company. It's not right or wrong, but it's fit or not fit in each market. You need to choose the right mentors and the right theories to use this market. I believe that not only me, but also you and also the people who want to open the company with success in the future. Thank you.